Hello. I was um, thinking about something, and so I thought I would talk about it a little bit. I've been doing a lot of reading the last couple days. I was thinking, now that I've been resting here at the house, like I said, for a couple days, I was thinking about my last seizure event, that I was like, okay, spurted out that information having to do with, grand mal episodes and petite mal episodes, and, I realize that exactly what I'm explaining is related to a post I just made about the hot weather, and there's a heat front going on right now. In the 4th of July is in one day. That would now be tomorrow because it's 3:30. And so those two situations that play out very differently over the following days are not even days, weeks, 2 weeks. So the difference between the two, it's the same thing. It's a seizure that leads to paralysis. The problem is that the petite episode is very real. That the full or not the full the full occurrence happens in my sleep. I have a seizure in my sleep. I experience the paralysis in my sleep. That is epilepsy. I also happen to have narcolepsy, symptoms that sometimes which aren't conscious based. Narcolepsy, cataplexy happens randomly during the waking period. So I experienced cataplexy within the day. And I don't normally. I haven't, it's been some time since I've experienced cataplexy. Last fall, not only was I having like full drops, and they were not happening instantly like when I was going through the treatment. When I was going through the epilepsy treatment, a cataplexy, it was just like a full upper body sink, like complete muscle, no grip. It would last for a couple hours or something, and then come back. Same thing is I would have things happen with like my face, all like, the emotional trigger that happens before cataplexy happens, whether it's just your face falling, whether it's just the grip in your arms or your whole body. No matter what level, the pain level is during a cataplexy episode, just like seizures. You still experience the full thing, all the symptoms leading up to it and the decline. Recently, in the last 2 months, I have experienced, and it is nothing like experiencing the temporal lobe seizure that I was having before the cataplexy started kicking in. And it was at the very end of the treatment. It was in the final 6 months of a 3-year treatment that I started experiencing full cataplexy and its midgets. So this year, and especially in the last 2 months, I caught it. Watched myself, knew what I was eating up into the point, knew where I was in my female cycle, had my sleep on a schedule, have not been on any medication. Oh yeah, so this started when I stopped the final. I didn't know when exactly to stop the treatment or how that was going to work. But so yeah, last day of April, I had to stop taking the Lexapro 5 milligrams. And so since then, for my next 2 cycles, yeah, because May, June. So May, I had what would have been the temporal lobe seizure, but it was kind of a touch versus a roll through seizure. It was, I noticed at the end of last year that I was having, and I have a vibration in my upper gut a lot of times when I'm not having my female cycle. And so that is the temporal lobe and the hypothalamus. So the grand mal seizure, the paralysis, like I have the dot at a different, or the seizure, I say dot because it's like somebody touching, something they're not supposed to. So that happened at a different stage than the seizure that happened in June. The temperature was a lot colder in May than it was in June. So it definitely has to do with intellectual. So it was extremely, extremely miserable this past month. I assume it's going to happen again. I don't know how, it's not getting any colder, so I suspect, as long as I eat correctly, that I'll just feel like shit for a week. That I may get some normal neurological phenomenon, but I have to be aware and take it slow so I don't tick. And that's just how we're going to leave it at. Speaking of Copra phenomenon, echo phenomena, we're just going to call it a tick. So I need to focus on trying to get up to balance my body's comfort level out so it won't be so spooked when the estrogen in my body is at its lowest and moving. So is my estrogen bottoming out temporarily. It's, you know, just like cataplexy in itself, that, you know, like my, you know, cognitive networking and stuff gets tired. And so, like, as I'm processing things, it, as it's rolling through, there's not any, you know, it's a process thing because the sun goes around the earth. That's how we get developmental disorders. It's functional, that is functional neurological disorder. It, I have to somehow figure out how to, chill out my nervous system and quit it being so scared of that. That is going to take up some time for me to get to that place because I don't have, you know, the funds to, like, you know, to get that kind of health care. So, and as I am somebody who was born disabled, you know, the fact that I have that wound is, not legal, but the person who created it is. So, hopefully I'll be able to get in a more, hospitable, place in my lifetime in the next couple years, like a place that has central air conditioning and stuff. So my body will stop going into shock and I'll stop having seizures. I imagine though, once, you know, I'm not homeless anymore, that the seizures will stop. So I will be having at least one and then 2 weeks of recovery, every single month, until the female cycle completely stops. That has nothing to do with autism. I mean, it doesn't have to do with the autism's, itself. It has to do with the fact that, autism is a disorder that is created because of, there's, a coping that happens, that the body naturally does, because the sun goes around the planet. So life is, not very much fun, when you only have like 2 weeks of being able to speak and no, you know, I can't be like, you know, get services for being blind and not able to speak for 2 weeks every single month. That's not how life works. So, also, like, you know, that alludes to the fact that you don't diagnose narcolepsy or epilepsy in somebody who can't take the medication because they don't have epilepsy. So, the seizure disorder, because they don't have a seizure disorder. I don't have a seizure disorder. I have once a month. That's not a disorder. So, hope everybody's sleeping well or waking up, preparing for their day. And everything goes smoothly. I hope my day goes smoothly. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know what I'm going to be doing the next couple days. I've been drinking a lot of smoothies, so that's awesome.